Hello and welcome to One Good Thing. I'm Paul Salt, and I'm afraid my co-host Paul Goodman can't join me this week. He's been eaten by a giant, and is currently wriggling his way through his guts and limbs. Luckily, before he went perambulating around giant country in his patented meat cagoule... Oh my god!
Oh, you wouldn't believe what it was like inside there!
No!
Paul Salt!
Well, I guess we better do a proper episode then. Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that can climb anything.
Fuck yeah.
I'm Paul Salt.
I'm back. Did you miss me, everyone? No, because I'm a nothing hole. Hello. Let's do some films.
My favourite nothing hole. Yes, well, let's do a film then. Today we shall be discussing Suicide Squad, Warner Bros.' third attempt to launch the DC Extended Universe, directed by David Ayer, director of tough movies. Yeah, movies like Harsh Times.
Wow.
Woof. End of Watch.
The end
of the Watch.
TikTok.
Fury. And now Suicide Squad. And that's the one that won an Oscar.
Finally did it, everyone.
Finally did it.
Good going, team.
Critical reaction to the film was pretty poor, you might be surprised to hear.
What?
I know, right? Michael O'Sullivan at the Washington Post said, "Sadly, Suicide Squad," which he put in quotation marks, "feels like a watered-down version of what could have been a stiff drink." Michael O'Sullivan, famous alcoholic.
Yes, we all know about his antics.
We all know.
Mr. O'Sullivan.
Formerly of the Washington Post, I think you'll find.
Now Michael Sullivan under a bridge. Writing in coal on the undersides of the bridge.
Still somehow getting to all those new releases, though. Just every week.
Well, that's the sort of moxie that gets you big in this business. He's like a young homeless Kermode. He's like a young Kermode. Also homeless.
Formerly homeless. Mark Kermode. Also, Renee Rodriguez over at the Miami Herald. "There isn't a moment of spontaneous fun or humour in this long, turgid movie, the latest letdown for DC comic fans who have been waiting for someone to pick up the baton that Christopher Nolan left behind and do this universe justice. With Suicide Squad, the long wait continues." Not a terribly long wait, though.
No. Although it's pretty impressive that she managed to fit that on the underside of a bridge.
Yeah.
I like this new Blade Runner-esque world where all of our film critics are drunk and homeless.
All film critics are gnarled fucking survivors of some apocalyptic event of film criticism. And they're having to rough it on the streets.
The rest of the world's pretty pristine, but it's for film critics, something went quite wrong.
Oh no. So yes, the movie has 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, 40% on Metacritic, and was the 10th highest grossing film of 2016. So, yes. Paul, you unimaginable ancient evil.
Hello.
Hi. What is something about this movie that made you laugh?
Oh, God. I mean, what didn't make me laugh? You know, the beginning of the movie.
Oh, what? The before the watchy parts?
You know, it starts, and we see the prison where all these people are.
Yes.
And that song comes on.
Yeah, one of those songs.
Yeah. House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, by the Animals.
By the Animals.
Those animals that wrote a song.
Yes, the Animals that wrote a song. There is a house in New Orleans, they call it the Rising Sun. It's been the poor ruin of many a poor boy.
Boy, I know I want.
Yes.
Boy, I know I'm one.
Poor. And it's like, oh, I like this because I didn't know what this was about. And now I have a better idea.
It's a prison movie.
It's a prison movie about a bunch of bloody animals.
Yeah,
you know.
I wonder if they could, like, at some point just make an entire movie where almost all of the narrative lifting and character development is done by really awkwardly placing in pop songs.
In the next scene is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
And the song that plays then...
You Don't Know Me, that song? You Don't Know Me. Is that then?
Ah.
It's the one that goes... like that. Don't tell me what to do. It is that song.
Fuck.
And she's hanging
Okay.
from ropes that she's improbably hung from the ceiling. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait,
This pertains to the character.
Wait, no, because no, because the policeman comes in and he
Yeah.
says, "You shouldn't do what I should." No, it's true.
Jesus.
That's exactly what the song was.
That's the song.
Fuck. Okay, David
Well, that's not
Ayer.
going to happen third time in a
Yeah.
row. That would be ridiculous.
Oh.
The next character introduced is Amanda Waller, played
Yeah.
by Viola Davis.
Yes.
She's kind of... how would you describe Amanda Waller? I guess you might say that she's interested in doing a deal. She's going to do deals with people and offer them things in exchange for their souls. Kind of like a sort of devilish style character. And yet the film kind of wants you to... I guess feel some sort of emotion towards this particular devil, like an empathy for the devil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I see where you're going. I think so, but
It's
I can't.
it's a Rolling Stones song.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Paint It Black.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
Sympathy for the Paint It Black. It goes.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun,
Please
dun,
allow
dun.
me to introduce myself. I'm a man who paints it black. Right?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah, no, and I got that because she painted because when she is black,
Yeah.
and that's what David Ayer was getting at, right?
So it seems. I
Yeah.
mean, this film has really sensitive racial overtones. She then comes, having had our introduction sequence in a prison, she then enters into a restaurant scene
Yes.
in order to casually chat about her incredibly confidential mission that she's going to murder people about later on
Yes.
in a restaurant
Yes.
with two guys who look remarkably similar to each other, which bent my head in ways it wasn't meant to bend.
Yeah, it was Jack Johnson and John Jackson, and she's explaining to them her plan to put all of these supervillains together
Yeah.
as a crime-fighting duo, 6 crime-fighting duos in one team, and the argument being, what if Superman turned terrorist, or what if we had a new Superman and he was
went terrorist.
Yeah, and he was an anti-American
Yeah.
douchebag.
Yeah. And during that line, Teenage Dirtbag plays.
Teenage douchebag starts playing.
Teenage American Douchebag plays.
Yeah, and then in the very next scene, well, after that, the two John Jackson types go,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, we get it now. Well, you better come with us to our military headquarters so you can say the exact same thing to a room full of more people."
Yes, interrupting that smooth transition between two identical mission briefs is her telling us everything we're going to need to know about these characters.
Yes.
There's Will Smith.
Some more than others.
Some more than others.
Yep.
There's Will Smith.
Yeah, there's Will Deadshot.
Who? Will
Deadsmith.
Deadshot. Will Deadsmith. He's got a lot going on. He's a hired assassin.
Yes.
He's got a daughter.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Batman.
No.
He's in prison.
Yeah.
All of that going on. About 12 minutes. Then we got Margot Robbie.
Harleen
Harley Quinzel.
Quinzel. Yes.
Harleen Quinzel. Flawless.
Yeah, it was. Her name's Harley
wait a
Quinn. I get
minute.
it. It's very clever.
Her name was Haley Wrongen.
Yeah.
And she is, she's only the Joker's psychiatrist.
Oh.
Fancy getting that gig.
Oh.
Bane's milkman. He manipulates her in a scene.
Yeah.
Just completely worms his way into her heart, very much like that Hannibal Lecter and Chloe Starling.
Yes.
You know how that happened in that one scene in Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
One scene, yeah.
Yeah. That one scene.
That one scene they had together.
That's put through that's forced through a spectrum, and it refracts into 18 separate multicolored scenes.
Yes. Including a strip club sequence,
Yeah.
a chase scene with Batman,
Yeah.
and a scene of forced feeding in a prison. So
Yes.
Harley's got all that going on. Then there's Killer Croc.
Yes.
He looks and acts like a crocodile
Yeah. And then there's Diablo,
who controls fire.
who's incredible.
Oh yeah, he has incredible footage.
His visual effects are
gotta see
incredible. And then there's Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang.
There. By the way, we didn't mention there have been lots of good musics playing.
Throughout all of this.
All of this.
Oh god, I mean, Will Smith had Bald Black Guy.
Yep.
By Kanye East.
Yes.
Margot Robbie
good stuff.
had
Damaged Nutbin Lady by In Excess featuring featuring the Gruffalos.
Love that remix.
Yeah, that was a rad sick remix, guys.
Of a song by Moby.
Check that out. Yeah. Diablo was obviously
Skrillex
Skrillex
covering
Firestarter.
himself in jam and then throwing himself at a keyboard.
And which is a bit on the nose, but it's nothing compared to Captain Boomerang, which was Timmy Mallet playing the sounds of the outback. Having
abandoned the children's presenter that Goodman wanted to say, he quickly tries to find another. Timey, nope.
Yes, that's all the characters.
That's all of the characters you've got to look forward to and enjoy, except a couple of others we'll mention later.
They're introduced. We then go back to another scene where Viola Davis...
Yes. Oh, no, we missed one. Well, just a side character, really, hardly important. You've got a guy who looks like a crocodile who can bite people in half. I mean, that's pretty good. You've got a guy who's pretty good at shooting a gun.
Yeah.
They do have a woman who has the immortal, all-powerful spirit of a witch trapped inside of her.
But it is our time. The sun is setting and the magic rises.
I guess they have her. Who can, change all matter and transport anywhere she wants at her will.
Yes.
They have her.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yep, they play that.
Witch old witch, the 6,373-year-old one who can control time and space like Dr. Manhattan.
Witch old witch. Oh wait, she's not dead.
The 6,370-year-old witch who can control time and space.
Ding dong, the witch. Oh, she's not dead. Oh, she's coming for us.
Well, better get the fucking munchkins in then. Make me sick.
So anyway, she is trapped inside the body of a doctor who is also in love with not Tom Hardy, who is played by...
Joel Kinnaman. Also Kinnaman.
The twins. They play... They're unusual twins who have both the same first name. They're Korean, I think. They have the same first name, different surnames.
Well, it was like Armie Hammer and Armie Hammer who were in The Social Network.
Armie Hammer and Barmy Hammer.
Wait. They were the same person? No! So then we have the second briefing where she convinces a bigger room full of men.
Yes, using the Scarlet, not Scarlet, the darkest than Scarlet, the Maroon Witch.
Yes.
She uses her to sort of convince them, hey, I've got a witch.
Yes.
You should probably use that in some way. I don't know.
Yeah. They're not very impressed by the fact that it's just magic.
Yeah, just a magic trick.
It's just the ancient magic of a 6,373-year-old witch who can control time and space.
Tell me more about this. Tell me more about this Captain Boomerang.
He says, stroking a thumb along the two-dimensional picture of Jai Courtney.
The two-dimensional one, really.
Yes, Paul. It's not magic like the Enchantress. What happens is, after Viola Davis has convinced all of these men that this is the right thing to do, they then go to they visit the prison where we have what would serve as a perfectly good opening sequence where they're walking through the prison. We're introduced to the characters again.
Yeah.
And the song "Hey, It's All Good to See You All Again, Guys, For Real" by Prodigy featuring Neil Diamond.
Yes.
Voice box.
Which was also a beautiful collaboration between Eastern Roast Coast rappers. They came together and sang, "Why can't we be friends, guys? Come on, get in here." The West Coast unfortunately didn't attend and shot at everyone who was there. The Roast Coast and all the West Coast.
They set an angry crowd in place of them. They then go to Joel Kinnaman and the Dr. Moon, who is not the Enchantress at this time.
Yes.
She then turns into the Enchantress.
Now she's the Enchantress at this time. Goes over to Viola Davis's office just to have a snoop around, I think, or maybe to get her heart back.
Yeah.
When she notices her brother is also interred there.
Yeah.
He's in a similar sort of spirit needs to possess someone sort of situation. She quite effectively and creepily sort of takes over a guy who's just checking himself out in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's a handsome man.
As he deserved.
Yep. Yeah. He was due that hubris, I think. She shoves her brother's soul up him.
Yep.
And he becomes right up in his business, and he becomes an evil man. The city immediately, very quickly gets evacuated, so that we don't have to have issues around civilian deaths like we had in the previous two films.
Yes.
Waller starts to assemble her team.
So Viola Davis, who has now created a bit of a Pandora's box situation by assembling the supervillains.
Pandora's box if Pandora had made the box.
Yeah. I said sort of Pandora's box. It's very loose. Look, I'm not. I don't have all the time in the world to like just dwell under a bridge and think up fancy metaphors.
Unlike Joe Morgenstern.
Yeah.
Fucker.
And Trampy O'Sullivan over there with his ideas,
as he's known,
his words
and his alcohol.
Yep. But so then she sends these supervillains who have kind of been the cause of the thing to go wrong in the first place to go out and settle the thing that went wrong in the first place.
Yes.
So we go back to the prison so they can all be wheeled out.
Yep, introduced again.
Yep. We have a whole new bunch of songs.
Yep.
We have another level singing I Want to Get Freaky with all of you in the same room so I can inject you with explosive devices.
Yep, which is, ironically enough, what happens in the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, they get wheeled out. They have
a tooling up montage.
Yeah, a tooling up montage.
They then sort of are dropped via helicopter, dropped quite literally into the abandoned city.
Yeah.
And the mission is find the incredibly important target, the one person in this city you can't kill because everyone else is a zombie now.
Yeah.
And we'll take 10 years off your prison sentence.
Yeah.
That's the premise there. And at 48 minutes in, our heroes talk to each other.
Oh, there was also Slipknot who can climb anything.
Oh, Slipknot was introduced. He can climb anything.
It turns out that the target is Viola Davis.
Yeah. There's a long sequence of lots of shootouts and lots of scheming that doesn't amount to anything, and more flashbacks to Harley Quinn's time with the Joker.
Yes.
Oh.
Slipknot climbs something.
Oh.
And he dies.
Yeah, but he did climb it really well.
He really did. He climbed out of the park, guys.
Oh, God.
And then they just blew his fucking head up.
Yep. Turns out Viola Davis was the target. They get her. They try to evac her, but it turns out the evac's been commandeered by the Joker. You remember him from earlier and all the setups.
Harley and Quinzel tries to escape, and she gets knocked out of the helicopter when they do a rocket on it.
Yep, someone does a rocket on it. So she lands perfectly fine and reconvenes with the group.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Viola Davis is extracted, and her helicopter gets shot down as well because apparently nobody's learning not to use helicopters in this fucking movie.
No.
She gets captured by the Maroon Witch.
Yeah.
There's a bar scene where everybody bonds over how shit this mission went.
Yeah, they all bond about the things that they have emotions for. They finally get Diablo to share his story.
Oh, finally, he opens up.
Reveals that the one reason that he never used his powers until about 5 minutes before that scene is because he's responsible for the death of his wife and kids. And everybody goes, "Oh, you fucking monster!
How could you?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, you better not use those powers, you fucking killer.
I'm going to be sick. Never say that again to anyone.
I'm just going to hand you a drink. Try not to kill me."
Jesus, kid
killer.
Joel Cinnamon comes in.
Yep.
And that's all fine as well now.
Boomerang runs away.
Yeah, Boomerang runs away. Next, then they all go off to save the world. Boomerang comes back.
Yep.
And
as he is wont to do.
Yes.
And they all convene, whatever the fuck, on the Joker might be dead. They convene on the on the base where the laser is shooting up into the sky because Clara Delevingne is gonna destroy the world.
Yep.
She's the Maroon Witch, by the way. They fight her for a really long time. Yeah, do you remember that brother that there was? There was like a brother. Diablo kills himself in order to stop him.
Oh yeah, okay, because the rest of the team are like a family to him now.
They're like a family.
After shaming him for murdering his family.
I mean, to be fair, if someone in your family murdered their entire family, you should probably reprimand them a little.
You take a step back and reassess, wouldn't you? The flaming godchild.
Now, nobody's here to point fingers.
No.
But
you really are a monster.
Diablo.
Just the worst.
Jesus, essay. Meanwhile, Harley Quinn pulls out somebody's heart. I assume the right person's heart. Chloe Devigne's heart.
She pulls out her heart.
Her heart and throws it at Chloe Devigne, and she's like, ugh! And then she trips and falls.
Yeah.
Luckily, Joel Cinnamon is there to inform us that this now means that they can end this.
Yeah.
Which they do, reluctantly. Finally, Will Smith summons up the courage to just shoot her.
Yeah.
It's implied that she dies, but then the professor comes back because why not?
Yeah.
Happy ending, Ghostbusters. They all go back to prison. Will Smith now can visit his daughter and explain to her how to kill people, which is lovely. Harley Quinn can...
She gets an espresso machine, and she's allowed to read and...
have pink slippers.
Yeah, that's lovely. Killer Croc gets a TV and a music channel on so he can watch hip-hop all day long.
Good stuff.
And Captain Boomerang is locked up in solitary confinement.
Yeah, with a guard who absolutely refuses to speak to him.
And the last we see of him is him screaming his face off.
Begging for any form of human contact.
brilliant.
What a character.
But I'm from Australia.
Oh, man, that's the end of the movie. Oh, no. The Joker comes back. He wasn't dead, guys. He wasn't dead.
Of course he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't dead.
Stop making. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Twat.
He wasn't dead. He rescues her. Meanwhile, Waller meets with Ben Affleck, not Batman, Ben Affleck, in order to try and make a deal in which he could try maybe not to be Batman anymore, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. They're in too deep.
He tells her not to be back for another movie. Viola Davis seriously considers it, and it's the end. So,
I mean, it was definitely ruined.
Yeah. It wasn't so much a delicious cake that someone ruined by trying to turn it into a hot dog.
No.
So much as it was a pile of shit that someone ruined by turning it into no longer a pile of shit. It's like you could respect it when it was a pile.
Yes.
Now it's lost that structural integrity and it's just some shit.
We had a lot invested in this when we first saw the trailers for this.
Yeah.
We saw the trailers.
Yeah.
Our interest was piqued.
Yep. Yeah, I guess so.
There was lots of cool action, and the trailers were done really well. There were,
good editing,
it was
lively,
well cut to the various cool songs they had in it. And, and Harley Quinn looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dead shots in it. Cool. And Slipknot can climb anything.
He can climb anything.
Boy, can he.
Can't wait.
Head or no head. and it was like, yeah, okay, I'm up for seeing this. It looks like they're doing something different.
Yes, different from Bats v Supes, which at the time we hadn't seen the extended version of and were fairly disappointed with. It doesn't look drab, I think was one of the things. It looks bright and interesting.
Yeah. And whilst the character design is still pretty cool.
The world they're in is grey, brown, crumbled building. It's just as depressing as the Zack Snyder films.
Yeah, which, I mean, when you hired David Ayer,
you're not going to get fucking...
You're not going to get the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, are you? You are going to get...
Fury.
Grey on grey, yeah. You're going to get Fury. When Heath Ledger was given the role of the Joker, Jack Nicholson allegedly warned him against taking the role.
Huh.
He said because you get deep when you're doing the Joker.
Nicholson did also say that he wanted to play it again. So
he
had his agenda. It's Nicholson.
Right, well.
But yeah, Ledger went and locked himself in a hotel room, if I remember correctly, and just sort of fucking went insane.
Just lost grip, really. Yeah. And it feels like Jared Leto really wanted that to happen.
Yes, and he went to a hotel room and locked himself in and nothing happened. So he just watched The Dark Knight again and decided to do that, except he would occasionally laugh weird.
Jared Leto, and I'm not Jared Leto.
Right.
I wish I was. But if he really did lock himself in a hotel room and he didn't interact with any of the other, cast members apart from sending them gifts of... gifts, sorry, not gifs.
Sending gifts of
gifts
himself.
with a T, yeah. Jared Leto gifts, it was horrendous.
From earlier films. Yeah, he sent condoms and...
Used condoms, and he gave Margot Robbie a live rat, and he...
Which she named Rat.
Yes, she did. There's some real creativity here. She should be on this podcast. Soiled porno mags to Killer Croc and all kinds of shit that they haven't told anyone about, and all of this. And you know what? If he went to a hotel room and had a real mental breakdown, then I'm sorry that I take back what I said, and I don't want to poke fun at somebody who went through that. However,
I will say his mental breakdown wasn't good enough. Have a better one.
It was just, if he did have a genuine mental breakdown, it really didn't translate to the screen.
No, I mean, he sounded like Ledger.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
But looked like Marilyn Manson.
Yes,
is the thing, and a lot of people have pointed out, what of his philosophy made it into the film? Really, I mean, you just get the idea that he's a bit scary and unhinged. But what is he? The head of an organized crime syndicate?
It was organized. It was definitely organized.
Yeah, you get the idea, I think, that he's meant to be a hedonist. He heads up a mafia, though?
He's just a straight-up misogynist.
Yep, there's that.
And the problem is with Jared Leto, Jared Leto's Joker, whoever he is, there's just from his performance to the cinematography surrounding him whenever he's on screen, it's like melting like a Guy Madden film.
Yeah.
And the direction is all, the camera's shaking, and then he's really giving it some for the camera.
But like, I think there's always with characters like this a slight disconnect where you need to not think about the effort that went into them doing the thing that they're doing. And with Jared Leto, there's just a tremendous amount of effort that's coming off of everything.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he's introduced and he's just surrounded by like knives of varying sorts.
Yes.
And it's like, he laid those out
Yeah.
in universe. Like, he did that. And it's like, why did you do that? Why do you need our attention so much, Joker?
Yeah. Now, we've done the opposite of what David Ayer did and made the Joker the main focus of our criticism of this film.
Fair enough.
The character moments, I mean, what were they?
They were just characters saying things.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we're family now.
I mean, to be fair to David Ayer, he has done what no other director on the OGT pod roster so far has done, and stood by his shit.
That's true.
He's outlined everywhere that he's gone wrong with the film.
Yeah.
Specifically not making Joker the central villain by concentrating on the Enchantress and her big CGI brother.
Yep.
I think the tone, the general direction of the film, but it kind of it made the same mistakes as earlier DCEU films of getting mired in the wrong details.
Yeah.
In the wrong bits of it. It's difficult to know what this film was trying to do.
Yeah.
You can't even really look at the trailers to get a picture of that.
No.
We were watching them earlier, and the tone shifts between, like, from trailer to trailer. Yes,
there was a very serious one up front, and then a very lighter, sort of brighter one by the one with the Queen song in it, which is the production team. So sorry, I don't know if we got into the production just a little bit. They made the movie. Then two things happened that I think were important. The first thing is that Batman vs Superman was a massive disappointment. Critically, but also commercially. It did end up as one of the higher grossing films of the year, but the drop-off between first and second weekend was a nightmare. And they hoped this would go as far as the Avengers would in terms of like making $1 billion. It didn't. It fell very short.
Yeah.
It was not a good tentpole movie. They couldn't just sneak in some little quirky movies, in order to just, build the universe. Suddenly, Suicide Squad had to be the tentpole. It had to be the good one that would actually prop up the failing franchise.
Yeah.
A lot of burden on a movie that was meant to be an aside.
Yes.
Second thing that happened is Deadpool came out and was massively critically and commercially popular. I think that's really the thing that killed it, because suddenly they were like, okay, how do we fix this movie? Everyone hates our really boring, dreary Bats v Supes. Everybody loves this sort of bright and quirky Deadpool. So, let's re-edit this motherfucker.
Yeah.
We'll get this trailer house to release a quirkier trailer and see how people react. People reacted well, brilliant. Get them to re-edit the movie, and then we'll splice it together with a version edited by Ayer, and put out a third version, which is neither of those things. Yeah, just a chaos. And the editing is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some baffling decisions made in terms of the way it wants to convey information to you. It's just all over the shop.
Yeah.
Original intentions? I don't know if we'll ever know. It doesn't feel like there's enough meat here to have constituted an original vision. Like Fantastic Four, you can see what the original movie was, even if you don't like it. And then the third act is just a mangled mess. This whole thing is a chaotic...
I'd have loved to have seen a David Ayer version of this, where he just... I mean, I would have to assume that his version of it was going to be the darker, grittier, more emotionally taxing version that we got from the first trailer. Which, having watched that back again today, I mean, even I thought, maybe the movie is awesome.
Yeah, maybe it's better than I remember.
Maybe it is a great movie after all, guys. But it wasn't. And yeah, like one of the things is just the jokes just fell so flat.
Oh, God.
Every single time. It's like Ant-Man all over again. But there were one or two bits that I think just came from the natural charm and talent of the actors.
And what I really hate is audience surrogacy. I've hated this since I was a kid, and it's the idea of a character will say what the audience was thinking. And it happens a couple of times here. There's a bit where... when Deadshot sort of doesn't shoot. There's a bit where he's being asked to shoot Harvey Quinn. He doesn't shoot her, and Jay Courtney says, "Nice one, mate."
Yeah.
And it's clear that we're meant to think, yeah, what a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. I mean, the expectations were really high for this.
Yeah.
They're gone now. This doesn't need to prop up the DCEU anymore. It didn't. It failed. That mission is gone.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman has happened.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. So, and yet I was more irritated by it this time because last time it was like, oh Christ, why can't these people get on the right page?
Yeah.
Now I'm very worried. In the same way that they didn't have time to react to their failures, like they didn't have time to, they're making these movies so fast. They didn't have time to react to Bats v Supes' disappointment appropriately. They're not going to have enough time to respond to Wonder Woman's success. And what my worry is that people are going to look back and that Suicide Squad, Bats v Supes, Man of Steel is going to be the way forward because Justice League looks terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, that was in production way before Wonder Woman came out.
So there's no time. The reason that I really was annoyed by this is that I'm worried that the little tendrils of the insidious badness of the DCEU, because there are recurring themes, largely as a result of Zack Snyder being the sort of visionary creator of this universe. He's no Kevin, Feige. There are a couple of things that seep into this movie which I'm worried are going to be in Justice League and all the movies going forward. One of them is terrible CGI-filled action sequences that you can't relate to. Second thing, gritty, urban, messy, dark aesthetic. Yeah. Third and most insidious thing, and this is really important, in Zack Snyder films, being a hero, doing the good thing, doing the right thing, it's a joyless burden.
Yes.
It's something you have to do. You're not going to have fun doing it, but you have to do it. And that joylessness, I mean, Wonder Woman saves a whole bunch of people and looks like she's fucking thrilled to have done it.
Yeah.
She's happy about it. It's her honor to do it. So here in Suicide Squad, we have a bunch of people who want to look out for themselves, they want to do their own thing, and they want to have fun doing it, gradually and begrudgingly realizing that they have to also help people.
Yeah.
And we don't get to see the people they've helped or get a sort of visceral, sort of emotional, a little kid comes up to Deadshot and it's like, thank you, or something, and he's like, and he sees his daughter in her face, something.
Yeah.
And it's just not fun. That Queen trailer made this movie look fun.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool, and it's not.
Yes.
Nor is it really carrying enough substance to make it as a sort of dry superhero film. So let's put this in a wider context just for a minute. This movie came in the middle of a very disappointing summer blockbuster season last year. But in the interest of continuing our ongoing mission to assert that movies are no worse than they ever were, really, when you get down to it, I decided to have a quick look back and see what the situation was like 20 years earlier in 1996.
Okay.
Funnily enough, the highest grossing movie of that year came out right around this date. Quite crucially, it had to come around this date.
Oh, that would be Independence Day.
ID4, which stands for Independence Day 4. I haven't seen the other three.
No, they were set the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of July.
Nothing happened.
And there was no one around.
No aliens.
Everyone was at work.
There's a lot of similarities between ID4 and Suicide Squad. There's a lot of characters. Mm-hmm. Most of them redundant. Some of them government types.
Yeah.
A lot of sort of racial cliches. Mm-hmm. Will Smith is in it.
Yeah.
The main female character is a stripper for no obvious reason. Jared Leto's in it for no obvious reason. I don't know if you remember, Jared Leto played... you remember the Alien that came out and Will Smith punches him in the face and it's like, welcome to the wild, wild west. That was Jared Leto.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
And then Kenneth Branagh comes out and he's like a crime-fighting sidekick. Okay.
We sure got him, Will Smith. Thanks, Kenny.
Shut up, Kenny.
Shut up, Kenny. And crucially, I think the difference is that in Independence Day, the drama comes from a laser being shot down at the Earth, whereas in Suicide Squad, it's a laser that's shooting up, away from the Earth.
Oh, of course.
That's 20 years of progress right there. So what's your feeling on Independence Day? I've forgotten.
I'm positive about Independence Day.
So how do you feel we can contrast the two against each other to get a view of how the industry has changed over 20 years of Will Smith and summer blockbusters? Because ID4 was a big deal. It was a big game changer for blockbusters.
Well, I mean, you could call ID4 pro world, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's pro people,
it's pro Earth.
It's
all
big
its
on
different
Earth.
People.
Yeah,
the gays and the Jews.
Yeah. The gays and the strippers and the Jews and Jeff Goldblum's various incarnations of Jeff Goldblum. I mean, and it kind of spoke about bigger things, even though it was very on the nose, being called fucking Independence Day. it spoke of bigger things. It had a nobler message, whereas this, it felt like it looked inward. It didn't speak to any grand. There was no grand philosophical, metaphysical message. When we have the characters, when we finally get to look at their deepest desires, when the Enchantress shows them what they want.
What they really, really want.
Deadshot just wants to kill Batman and have a cool hat. Harley Quinn wants to be married to the Joker.
No, she doesn't want to be married to the Joker. She wants to be married to Jared Leto.
Yeah, she wants to be married to Jared Leto, who is expressly not the Joker. It's Jared Leto.
Yeah.
With cool hats.
Yeah.
Diablo, cool hats.
Kill a family again.
Yep, he wants a whole new family to kill in a cool hat, and then Captain Boomerang is just all hats, and there's just no like the actual things they want are no better. It's very very selfish reasons, and there's no, like, Will Smith doesn't even want to be with his daughter, who he's currently estranged from because he's in prison.
Yeah.
The only sort of hint we have that these characters seek some sort of philosophical redemption is that occasionally they say they do.
Yeah, exactly.
I
don't think the characters in ID4 are that much more fleshed out. What they are is that they're disparate enough and they're authentic enough and well played enough that it feels like this is a world that Emmerich is building. This is a world that has a White House staff, that has genius television repairmen, that has Will Smith in it, if you can imagine such a world.
No. Never.
Yeah, ID4 does use its characters in that way, whereas Suicide Squad just feels very small. There's no one there to be worried about. There's no one for them to be saving.
Yeah.
And once they save Amanda Waller, which turns out to be the whole reason they were there, it's like, okay, what next? And they feel aimless, we feel aimless. It's like, oh, well, I guess we gotta go have a big CGI fight scene then. Why? What's your investment? What do you get out of it? What do we get out of it as an audience?
There were some things that I got out of the film. Margot Robbie's performance, I really liked. So I think there's a lot. Some of the actors just had that natural charm to them.
Huh? What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices.
There are a couple of moments that made me genuinely laugh, and there are like flashes of a film that it could have been at times, like, and the makeup and stuff like that probably did deserve the Oscar.
It was good makeup.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and a lot of effort went into making the Joker look ridiculous.
Absolutely. It's just every good thing I can think to say about it is in some way compromised. Like, I liked Viola Davis's performance as the hard nut, sort of badass, but she does it in Fences with a good script, and it's great.
Yes.
Here she has ridiculous lines.
Yeah.
That just are full of portent and, a sort of self-righteousness, but it's just absurd.
Go get it, girl.
Like, I would say it's mainly boring. There's some very unusual and, like, laughably bad editing decisions, but for the vast majority of this movie, it's characters that you don't know much about and aren't that interested in slowly walking around a ruined, bleak city, sometimes fighting things, mostly just walking, and occasionally talking to each other like, do you think we can get out of here? Oh, I don't know, let's just see how this plays out. That conversation happens about 50 times.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a messy film that isn't fun or particularly interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No.
Sorry, we're meant to swing that round. Shall we get to some of the things that made this a little bit more worthwhile? The scene where... Okay, yes. Batman is in this movie.
Yes.
It's quite fun to see Batman be Batman.
Yeah.
Just going around... most of what he does is just him showing up at a place, punching someone and sending them to jail.
Yeah.
But the underwater rescue of Harley Quinn after she crashes her car with Joker in it... so after Joker crashes his car with her in it, his rescue of her was neat.
Yeah.
And even though she was a villain, he had to save her.
Yeah.
Even giving her mouth to mouth, which she then sort of slimily turns into a kiss because she's kind of scummy and she wants to pervert his good act.
Yeah.
Is the thing. So yeah, good character moments all around.
When Deadshot's daughter steps in front of Batman to stop her dad from shooting him.
Yeah.
There's an emotional moment there, and if only there was more of his daughter, because she could have been the emotional heart of the movie.
She could have been. I thought you were going to say if it weren't for me quietly saying in the background, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Because he was just in the background being Batman while she was giving this speech about, you can't kill him, Daddy. You can't. He's you'll lose yourself and you can't. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Well, we all know he's Batman, and that's what makes him so great. So
what matters is he knows he's Batman. Yeah, there were a couple of cool witch moments for me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she had a couple of cool bits, and the bit I liked most, I mean, there was some ridiculous bits, particularly near the end, and I think there's already footage of her without the special effects of Clara Delevingne just sort of contorting and twisting around on set, and it's fairly amusing. There's a couple of cool witch moments. The moment where she first transforms into the witch, the Enchantress, her hand is out, and suddenly these black fingers sort of appear in between her fingers and clasp her hand and twist the hand over, and then it's the witch's hand, which is really neat. I don't know how that looked to people, because we only saw a close-up on the hands. I don't know how it looked to people watching the whole thing. Like, did her face come around in the same way and sort of twist her face off, or... Who's to say, but...
Blink and you miss it, I imagine.
Blink and you miss it. Ah!
You look at the hand... and suddenly witch.
Suddenly witch.
Yeah. When Deadshot realizes that the gun is actually the gun at the start is loaded. Yeah. He sniffs the chamber.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, that's the good stuff. And that was a really cool moment. That was like, oh fuck, a character's really into something.
He cares about a thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good character moment there.
I did like the first half of the bar scene. Before Diablo tells his story, the first half of the bar scene involves her just asking everyone what they want to drink and pouring it for everyone. And there's little backs and forths that aren't exposition. Yeah. That aren't, setting things up. That's just a conversation between these characters, and you get like a insight into how they might work together. I still don't get any vibe that they actually enjoy each other's company, but
no,
they tolerate it, and there's some nice moments.
Yeah. Just before Deadshot goes to shoot the bomb that is thrown at the Enchantress by Killer Croc. Fuck this film. The Enchantress puts in Will Smith's mind his daughter, who pleads with him not to shoot her. Like, there are other ways to do it. Don't shoot, don't fire the gun again. Yeah. And as he sort of realizes what's going on and he builds himself up to actually pulling the trigger, there's a close-up, and it's very nicely framed. A close-up of his face, slow motion, breaking from this like puzzled, bemused look to this angry one, and he's psyching himself up, and he just very slowly opens his mouth into a scream, much like when Morpheus is breaking out of the...
I was waiting for you to say that, because that's exactly what I thought of.
That it's the handcuffs, he's breaking the handcuffs, his mouth goes to an enormous, crazy size. And then,
and then... Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Yum, 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 luckiest man on earth. Full old Morpheus. And yeah, it's very nicely shot. Like in the greatest, like the better Zack Snyder moments when he gets everything right. It looked like that, and
lovely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
Finally. So he was Jay Courtney's an actor I've never really liked her very much, but he does a good job here.
Yeah. Played the self-styled bogan villain pretty well. Yeah. He wasn't particularly funny, but
that's the script's fault.
His lines were delivered well. Yeah. He had one where in one of the extra scenes, I think, that were added to the extended edition that we saw for some reason.
Lucky us.
When Harley Quinn's going around just teasing people, I think he's talking to Diablo or something, and he just goes, "Leave it, mate. She's a rabbit hole. Don't fall in." And it's like, that's a fucking cool line. And yeah, there are bits like he has a good look about him. There's just something really grimy. He looks like he's stepped out of Fury. He looks like he spent a week in a tank with Shia Labeouf.
That look.
Which maybe David Ayer did recommend that.
Like, he's still in the tank if you want to go. If any of you want to go spend some time with Shia LaBeouf, he's in that tank over there.
It's his latest art project. Sit in a tank with Shia LaBeouf. It's absolutely free.
Nobody's done it.
Financially. Yeah. Captain Boomerang's entrance, I think, is worth mentioning.
Oh, yeah.
When everyone else is being wheeled on, or we've had 15 minutes of introduction from them already.
Yes.
When everyone's sort of getting ready in this little courtyard and getting tooled up, He is just fucking dragged off of a helicopter in a burlap sack.
Yes, 12 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag or something like that.
That's the one. And he struggles with the bag, sort of gets it open eventually from the zip.
And in one long shot, with no cutaways or anything like that, one long shot, he emerges from the bag, gets to his feet, and punches someone. Yeah. Like, without even really looking around to see who to punch, he just gets to the first person and just punches them. Yeah. And it's really funny.
It's one long lurch.
Yeah.
Like impending vomit out of this bag. Fist first into this unsuspecting guard. And that's probably the greatest comedy moment of the film.
I think so.
It's excellent physical comedy.
Yeah.
Which is also missing from this film.
One last thing to say about it is I don't think the extended cut saved this one.
No, it's we did this for you guys. Yeah. We'll always do it if possible, but on this one, you can take it from us. Yeah. It's an OGT pod guarantee. Don't bother.
If you're interested in it for whatever reason, check out the theatrical version. It may seem like a jumbled mess, but I trust us. It's not any less jumbled in the extended version, and it just adds some extra scenes of walking.
Yeah.
Not walking. Walking.
Yeah. And some talking.
And some talking.
Not some Tolkien.
No walking or Tolkien.
Just walking and talking. Now.
And some Torvin and Dean.
Okay, so let's get on to the one better thing.
The one better thing.
So concentrating on the group dynamic this time around, I would recommend the series Firefly and then eventually the film Serenity. Group of outlaws following a civil war of sorts go about their western sort of setting as outlaws. They're led by Nathan Fillion. Really great cast, really cool group dynamic. It's a show and a film with a clear plan of what it's wanted to do. It sets out to do it and it does it. Even though it was cancelled and they tied up perfectly in a film.
A fairly interesting film to watch is some of David Ayer's other work. You've got Fury, a very grisly, kind of grim war movie, which had its moments. There's some really uncomfortable moments in there, and you do get the impression these are four unlikable guys who have been sort of driven to the edge and broken apart. It's interesting, the dynamic. It's in no way compromised, I feel. It's absolutely what Ayer set out to do. Yeah. Same for End of Watch, which is a found footage cop movie, a bit rare in that regards, with great performances from Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Pena, Anna Kendrick. Yeah, really good people in that. And I think keep an eye out for his new film Bright, which sounds really interesting. Comes out later this year. Yeah, set in a world where mystical creatures live side by side with humans. A human cop is forced to work with an orc to find a weapon everyone is prepared to kill for.
Super.
That's a really neat idea. Like, what would happen if Tolkien's Middle-earth lasted another 2,000 years and now suddenly we have, like, 70s New York, but with orcs and elves wandering around?
Cool. I like where David Ayer's going then. Yeah. Are we done?
That was the one better thing. The one better thing.
Excellent, because I'm so hot, I think I'm starting to hallucinate.
You never did get out of the giant's stomach.
No, it was all a dream. Like fucking North. Fuck you, North.
This was better than North, everyone. Suicide Squad, it's better than North.
Than North.
That was the one good thing about Suicide Squad. If you want to catch up with us, please do so. Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, and also YouTube. We are very slowly getting all of our episodes onto YouTube. Yep. The only problem is I'm very lazy, and Paul is actually completely computer illiterate.
Yeah, I have no idea what one of those is. No. The thing that you just said.
Yeah. On top of that, we were recently appeared on Shut Up and Take My podcast.
Yay.
Which is a bunch of cool guys from Adelaide who have a weekly podcast discussing the episodes of Futurama from season 1, episode 1 to its eventual cessation.
Yep.
We discussed the episode War is the H Word. I had a lot of fun doing it, so if you do want to give that a listen, that is Shut Up and Take My podcast. Yep. As ever, you can get in touch with us at ogtpod@gmail.com, and that's all the things, I think.
Excellent, fantastic.
Yeah, I've sweated my fucking bones out.
Sweated myself out of myself.
Yeah.
Now only the sweat remains. I'm Paul Salt.
I'm Paul Goodman.
And remember, the one good thing about Suicide Squad is when Captain Boomerang, lovable guy with his lager, is locked in solitary confinement and is begging for help. Begging for help.